Hello and welcome to the Fight to Fight, and today we are joined by decorated amateur boxer and now Commonwealth Games silver medalist Gemma Richardson. Welcome to the show. Hi.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. I mean, first up, I feel like I've got loads to say congratulations for, because like there's a list. I mean, number one, happy birthday. Yeah, 21st. And didn't you like guarantee yourself a medal at Commonwealth Games on your 21st?
Yeah, a bronze medal on my 21st. Like, I couldn't have got myself a better present, really.
That's
not
absolutely amazing.
A lot of people have done that either on the 21st, so it was just extra special.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm guessing you didn't go out that night and celebrate.
I was get a nice bath, get in bed, and get ready for the next day.
Just forget about it. Have you celebrated since?
Oh my god, yeah, we had like a big party with all my family and friends. It was like Coachella themed, so it was called like Gemchella, and it was all like everyone came dressed up, and it was lots of nice food and stuff. So it was so good.
Oh, that's so good. And double celebration because you've got a silver medal. Did you wear your silver medal out for your birthday?
It didn't go with the outfit, so I couldn't wear it, but it was definitely there, and people was obviously celebrating that as well with me, which was nice.
Oh, that's amazing. I've got to say, like, reading up about you and like watching your career, like you weren't really supposed to be at the Commonwealth Games. Like, I mean, this is another thing to say congratulations about. Like, you had a double elbow dislocation, if I'm right. Yeah. Like, and
yeah.
How have you done this? How have you come back early and won a silver medal?
Do you know what, it was crazy? There was always a joke on GB, like I was like the robust girl. I didn't get I was the girl that never got niggles. I never got injuries. I was just the physio. I didn't really know the physios. I was never in the physio room. Like, yeah, it was just that in GB. Like, I've never had that. Like, even growing up, like I've only had like one injury before this, and like since I was 21 now. And then in January, it was just such a freak accident. Like, if I landed any different or if anything different happened, it just wouldn't have happened. So, yeah. But I went the full extreme. So I did the double dislocation. I torn all my ligaments, the capsule, everything you could do. I went the full way.
Wow. But how have you managed to come back? Like, how did you manage to rehabilitate so quickly? What did you do? Are you magic?
Oh my, you know what? Like, everyone said that to me, like how, and I think obviously I've got youth on my side, which helps.
Yeah.
Obviously it doesn't get injured much, which helps. But thanks to GB physio, like I've had the best support, and Robbie, and I put a post on Instagram the other day to him, and he's just helped me every single, like, I've been in physio every single day since January. For months I wasn't allowed to train, so I didn't do anything. I wasn't allowed to, because of how bad the injury was, I wasn't allowed to run. I wasn't allowed to punch with my other arm. So like, normally you injure one arm, you can still do punching with your arm. I had everything writ off, so I couldn't run, I couldn't do anything. So like 4 months I was legit just going to camp, and I was in the physio room like every day, 2 or 3 times a day. I was going to the hospital as well. I was getting every bit of rehab, every bit of physio I could possibly do. Yeah. And like chipping away, and I was so determined, and I think the physios was as well, because they've never seen an injury like this on GB before. So everybody was so determined, and like that's all I had to concentrate on. I'm one of them people that if you tell me I can't do something, then I'm gonna want to do it more. Yeah. So as soon as like out that you're not going to the Commonwealth, so I was like, no, but I'm gonna prove that I can go. That drove me more to being like, watch me do it and like have the determination to get back, and here I am.
Absolutely. So I didn't know that you couldn't run either, and you couldn't even so you've managed to get your fitness back so fast as well.
Yeah, so like I put so much weight on. So obviously my whole life I've never had that big of a break off training. Like since I was 6, I've always been in the gym. Like after a competition, I'd have like a maximum a week off. But so that happened, like I didn't expect that either. So I just thought, I'll give it like a couple of weeks. I'll be back running, I'll be back training, I'll be sound. Yeah. And then we sat down, and I was like, you're out for like that long, and like you're doing nothing. So I was going to camps, and I was just watching everyone. So I put on like a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Ever been. I was just watching everyone. So like when I got told about the Commonwealths, it was like, right, we ain't got long. We need to get a move on and like get everything back. Like I think I started on the bike first, so I like got a bit of fitness on the bike and stuff like that, and S&C. And then as soon as I found out like it was the go ahead, it was like let's just do
Go,
everything.
go, go, yeah.
All guns blazing, just get on it and get us fit in as best shape
Wow.
as possible in the time. And yeah.
Oh, do you know what this? I mean, to me, as like a fan, this just shows you are one to watch. Like, if you can do this with everything that you had and with such little preparation. And I was going to ask, like, when you have an injury, does it affect anything mentally when you're in the ring? So does it like stop you from really going for it?
Yeah, I think when I first started, obviously back like punching a bag, or I was very hesitant, and it took like a few weeks. So it take a couple of weeks to get the confidence to punch even on the bag. And then obviously I didn't started sparring at that point. So then when I first started sparring, it was like technical sparring. It wasn't open sparring, and every time, so I had my arm taped up for extra support every time I sparred. But
Wow.
obviously in a fight you can't have that. So the whole preparation, I had one spar near the tournament where I didn't have my arm taped. And I remember going into that spar as if it was a fight, and I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, I ain't got the support on my arm.
Yeah.
So like, it just like mentally tire you and stuff, because I was just thinking, oh my God, like always in the back, I could have been I was as fit as I could be in that time. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I can't straighten my arm. My arm, every time I snapped it, my arm was hurting. So it was always in the back of my head. But like with the physios and the coaches and all that, they put a lot of time with me, and like they give me like the reassurance. And I think out of everyone on the team, I probably got that bit more positive like reinforcement in training and stuff, because of I needed it with the arm and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh.
a lot, and I just thought I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna give it everything. And I was like, hopefully on the day the adrenaline will be going and I won't feel it.
It'll just take over. Yeah, exactly. Is that what happened when you stepped in the ring? Did like all thoughts of it just disappear?
Yeah, so like in the chain, like in the warm up, like I could feel it a bit. We'd do like the rehab before, like I'd have extra, like a longer time doing like the warm up than I'd normally have with physio and stuff.
Yeah.
In the fights, I think as soon as I got in the ring, like the adrenaline took over, so I didn't really feel it until the last fight. It would be after the fights where I'd be like, oh, it's stiff, or like when the adrenaline down, I'd be like, oh yeah, I've got an elbow injury.
Yeah.
But the last fight, that's when I felt it in the rounds. I was thinking, oh God. But I was like too far in. I was like, do you know what? It don't even matter. Like, just put it at the back of my head and just carry on.
Who cares? Win. Get a silver. Yeah, exactly. It's like, deal with it later. Yeah. I mean, you're used to the physio room now anyway. So just.
Oh, yeah. I'm now. The queen of the injuries, me now.
Oh my God. It's amazing though that you've come back now, and you're such a strong part of that team. In a team, I was going to ask, so when in the pro scene, a lot of fighters say that when they're in the ring, they quite like it because they don't have to think about anybody else at all. They only think about themselves. They're just like, okay, this is me, everything is me. But then obviously with you guys, you're a team. And like, does that totally change you in the ring? Are you fighting for you or for them, or what goes on?
No, do you know what? I think as a team, we are a very close team, and like everyone was fighting. We was all there, like no matter what. Like we were shouting for him. Like we was always watching. We was a close knit team anyway. We had obviously like we've all trained together for years anyway. But going to the island together, like we became very close. And like if anyone was fighting, we'd all be there, all supporting. But it's still like nothing changes. Like it is a sport when you're on your own. So in that ring, you can hear like some of your teammates shout, but it's very much for you. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your family, but it's still very much for you. But outside of that, like it's not just, oh, I want to win a medal too. I wanted Lewis to win a medal. Like when DJ won a gold, like we all care and want each other to do well. So it's like different. But in the ring, I'm like focused, tunnel vision of what I'm doing.
Just one person. Only think about number one. Yeah. Oh, fair enough. I wanted to ask you about your journey as well. And actually, you said where you were like, "Oh, when I fight for my family." And I love that about your story. That it's a family affair. That you've got your dad, you've got your brother. Can you tell us about that, and like how you found boxing, or how boxing found you, or
So, my dad's always been like into sport. Like growing up, he did like the kickboxing and that, but he was never dedicated. So he never went far. He never competed in it because he wasn't dedicated enough to commit his time to training and stuff like that. He'd rather be doing other stuff. So growing up, my dad always we was into every sport going. Like my mum made sure like swimming, every sport going, Irish dancing, James did football.
Wow.
Like every sport going, we tried everything. And my mum was very big on that. Like, I'm not just sitting at home on my like iPads or phones. Like, would be doing something.
Yeah.
So that obviously started it all. Like, we was always active. And then my dad was like, he wants us to do like self-defense and just to keep fit. So we started with kickboxing because obviously that's where that's what he was doing as a younger child. But we was just shocking at it. Like, James could not
No.
We'd be the two in the class that everyone's had to hold the legs up. We'd have chairs holding our legs up and everything.
No.
Like, we just couldn't come to terms with it. So Dad was like, this is not for you guys. Like, we just wasn't. So it was like, let's try boxing. But at that stage, like, I was only 6. So
Oh, you were tiny doing like
I was
amazing.
a baby, I was. So I just ran around the gym.
Yeah.
Like, obviously my mum was at work, I had to go to the gym. My dad was there coaching my brother.
Yeah.
So I just went everyone's way. I was that annoying little sister to everyone in the gym, picking stuff up, obviously, but just getting at 8 years old when I was like, right, I want you to start now. Just training, not competing or anything, just training a couple of times a week. So you get your fitness, you learn how to like some defense. And at 8 years old, I was like, at 10 years old, I was like, I want to compete. I've watched my brother. I've seen what it's like, what everyone, like, what he's like when he wins and how he feels and the buzz there was with the family. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to be just like him. So at 10 years old.
10?
Yeah. So at 10 years old, I started competing. And then I've never looked back. Everyone I'm like a big family girl. So everyone in my family just plays a part. Like, obviously my dad's my coach. My brother's the reason like I do it. And he's also my coach. And I'm like, my mum's the reason me and James are probably still in the sport. Like, she's the one that like keeps us grounded, takes us out of the boxing as well. Like, when the training gets hard and because it does, like, and I think anyone lies that says like everything's always highs. She was the one to like reassuring us and like making us
absolutely
all play a part in it.
Yeah, and that determination as well, the discipline in boxing, how fit you can be. I mean, like, there is so much in boxing that is, I mean, it's hard. It's a toll on your body. Like, and I can imagine someone tiny as well. Also, working with your dad, like, I mean, that's such a gorgeous relationship, and you get so many of these pro boxers as well, you know, that have that relationship. And is this one of the first like father-daughter relationships with trainers rather than father-son?
I reckon I think a lot of people are used to obviously like father, son and that, but no, we're father, son, daughter. We are like we're strong free one. So it's great to have like, and no one wants better for you than obviously your own family.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
to have him in my corner and to have him like as my coach, and I come home from weekends, I train with them too. Like, I've got the best of both worlds, working with GB and then coming home at weekends and still training with them too, which is great. And I won't change it for anything. Like, we've had our arguments. We have our arguments. We have our like days where it's like we're not gelling, or like I'll answer back because I'm still his daughter, so I'm not afraid to answer back to him.
Oh yeah, of course. That's our job, right, as daughters?
Yeah, exactly. But it is great. It is.
Oh, that's amazing. I think that's so special. And I think that'll be something to see when you grow as well. Will you keep that when you like, I'm guessing you're going to go into pros?
Yeah.
Like, will you carry on having your dad and your brother there?
Yeah, I think one day obviously I'm going to go pro. That's always like the goal as well towards the end, is to go pro. And I'd like to think I'd come back to my dad and train with him and be annoying him again like I did all them years.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'd be like Joe Calzaghe. I think Devin Haney's, he's got his dad there as well. It's just lovely. I think it's really special because they know you best.
Yeah, he'll always be. Yeah. I can't get rid of him.
He's there all the time.
I can't get rid of him. He's part of the team.
Absolutely. What about inspiration? So when you were growing up, I don't know whether, like, did you see many of the female inspirations at that point? Were you the only, I'm guessing you were the only like 6-year-old in the boxing gym. Were you the only female? Like,
so I was the only female in our gym for many years. Obviously, when I started, it was still the era of a lot of people didn't think girls should box, so it was very, very new still. So like, obviously I was looking at my dad coach me, and he was very welcoming, and he obviously agreed with like women in sport, and he's always been a big believer with any sport, where other people obviously in the circuit or like just in general who didn't box didn't really associate boxing with women, and they were still that at that age. But I was lucky enough to, because obviously I was young, I didn't see many women boxing, and I went like 2 years without getting a fight where the lads were fighting, and at like at a young age like that, I was like, why though? I didn't understand it. So I was like, why am I not competing? I'm training the same as the boys.
Yeah.
I'm doing what they're doing. They're getting fights every weekend. I'm not getting any fights. And obviously at that age, it's hard to like understand like there's not many girls in the sport. Never mind your age, your weight. That's when Dad started introducing me to Stacey Copeland's. So we used to watch her fights on like the TV, and I used to like search her up and would watch her in like tournaments. And then one day Dad got in contact with her, and she drove all the way like to the gym, came to like my gym, which is like a good like a couple of hours away. She brought a belt, and she showed me belts, and she did a training session with me. And like just seeing that, like I was like, oh my God, I was like starstruck. I was like, oh my God, holding this belt. And I was like, and she just took me under her wing. So she then took me to Ireland for a training camp.
Wow.
She took me, yeah, and like even now, like, so in the Commonwealth, she sent me like a little video clip of being like, good luck, enjoy it, don't let the pressure get to you, don't let the nerves get to you, just enjoy every minute. Not many people. So like, growing up, I've always had her as like my inspiration. If I've ever needed anything, I'd go to Stacey, and I'd love to one day do what she's done for me, for like other girls. And that's why I'm a big believer. Is like the other day I went to Tamworth to an all-female training camp to show my, hopefully just start opening doors to like other girls in sports, because she was a big one for me, and without her, like yeah.
Oh, what a story. And that gave me shivers. That's just what you want, isn't it? Like to have this, like, because we are at the beginning, but we're at the beginning of, I think, quite a big movement. And so like to have people doing that and taking their time to welcome others and to help others when they're feeling, you know, maybe a bit ostracized.
She came, I think, this is before I won any nationals, before I won anything. So I must have been like 13 years old, and like to this day, like 21, she still messages me like with the video messages. And like from 13 to 21, I still feel the same way as when I was 13. When I get a message off her, I'm like so much and stuff. Like she was a big like part of my like career and like journey through up and stuff. And she always will be. I'll always look up to Stacey and want to be like her.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, what an inspiration. That's just incredible. I think that's just so wonderful. And I can't wait for you to do that as well when you've got your belt. You'll be like, yeah, no worries. So what is next? Are we thinking it's Europeans, then obviously there's Paris 2024 Olympics. Like, are you gonna wait until your Olympic gold and then go pro? Is that the plan?
So there's the Europeans coming up in October. But we don't know what's happening with them yet. Obviously, like we've got 2 weeks off now, so I've just been at home, spending time with the family, obviously celebrating my birthday, giving myself a rest.
Have a break, stop, lie down.
And then we're in camp next week, so hopefully we'll get some fight news if we're off to the Europeans. Obviously, everyone wants to go to the Europeans. If there's any other tournaments lined up, because I think it's important as well, the little tournaments as well, to go as many of them as possible, to get the experience, to get the bouts in. Just to get that ring awareness and stuff. Like you need, the more bouts, the better, like the boxer you become. But obviously the big goal is always going to be Paris 2024. Like since I was a kid, I've had a few, like Paris has always been a big one, Olympics has always been one, Commonwealth has always been one. So I've done the Commonwealth now, so I need to tick an Olympics.
Tick the boxes. You got you can't go pro until it's done.
So I think because I was younger and that's all I ever wanted, I've got to give that a shot. Like I can't turn pro without that Olympics, because like looking back at little Gemma, that's all she wanted was the Olympics. Because there was no pros then for really females, so it's definitely the Olympics, and then turn professional and try and get some little titles.
Which would be so exciting. You've been, if I'm right by this, like that you've been in sparring with people like Cara Sartenstall and Lauren Price. Like you've actually sparred them. Like, what's that like? Do you reckon? I don't know if this is a cheeky question or not, but do you think like, yeah, I am as good as the pros, but I want to go and get my Olympic gold first? Do you, or is it like you're fighting them when you're sparring them, going, actually, no, I need a bit more practice? Or what's going through your mind when you got people like that in your ring?
I've sparred like a few, obviously, like pros now, like over the years. Harris and Lauren, obviously, like are two big ones at the minute who are doing like smashing it. Just sharing the ring with them in general is amazing. Like sparring with them, like I learned so much from them too, and them, of which you're gonna with what they've achieved and that, like they know what they're doing. So it's great sparring. I think that's prepared me a lot for and brought me on as well in the sport. Other people I've sparred as well. Like, I think if I wanted to, I could turn professional now, and I'd give it a good go. Like, I'd give it a good go. But I am still young. I ain't got the woman strength and all that yet.
Yeah.
So I just want as much experience in the amateurs to take over to the professional side with me to give me the best shot going.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
So I'd a few more years in the amateurs yet before I turn pro.
Absolutely. Give that elbow a little bit of like, give it a couple of years, or have 2 years now.
2 years and then I'll be getting there.
That'd be ready. Oh, that is so exciting. Honestly, that is incredible. Do you know what? We're going to be watching you. And as a fan, I will be as well. Because, I mean, honestly, knowing all the things that you've accomplished in, under a year, really, the things that you've gone through and done. And
it's been a crazy year.
Yeah, it's just been amazing. And I love your story that it's so family orientated. And I can't wait for the day when you drive to someone's gym and you go and find a 10-year-old and show them all your belts and be like, oh, look what I've done. That's so good. And before I let you go, I'm going to have to ask, because it's on Saturday, Usyk or Joshua?
I've got to back Joshua. I'm England through and through. Obviously, we've trained women at GB, but you've got to back your own. And I'm obviously an English fan, so I've got to go with Joshua.
Joe, I really want you to be right. I was so desperate for you to be right.
Like, you've got to go with your own, and he's at the end of the day, and you've got to go with that. I'm hoping for him.
Oh, me too. We'll all be there. Pardon?
Yeah, I've got to go with Joshua.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
See you again. Thank you, Gemma. Thanks. Bye.